and thank you for tuning in to episode 20 of DannieBSpeaks, the podcast. We're just going to keep everything going like we always do, just talk about any and everything. I hope you all are enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying doing it. So let's just go ahead and get into the show. So our cousins from across the pond had their baby, Harry and Meghan, and known to the rest of you all as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But they had a little boy. I don't think a lot of people were surprised because, of course, people were running their mouths and kind of known that they were going to have a boy. But, we didn't know. The baby's name is Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. And I had no idea. I thought Harry and William, in the royal family, I thought their last name was just Windsor. But it's Mountbatten Windsor. Okay, that's interesting. So I guess that's his grandfather and grandmother's last name. Okay, so that's cute. So congratulations to them. Harry was just beaming. I mean, you can tell this is something that he's just too excited about. I'm really happy for both of them. They didn't waste no time, but I guess you got to because, Meghan ain't no spring chicken, so they had to get it going. But I don't know if they're going to have more. We'll see. And rumors are going on that they're possibly moving to Africa. So I don't know. They got a lot going on, but right now they just need to enjoy the birth of, the new addition to their family. LeBron James. So poor thing. You know what? Here's the thing. LeBron went to LA and they thought that he would be the savior. LA had one of their worst records that they've had in a long time. I mean, it's, they've been having bad records, but for what they thought, having a superstar like that and I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they were expecting. Y'all know they were expecting LeBron to come in and win the Lakers a championship in 1 year. I don't know. But the fans are pissed. They are pissed at the front office. Some of them are a little pissed at LeBron. They think that he has too much control. For a little bit, it looked like Tyronn Lue, who, former NBA player, he was also a longtime Laker. He was on quite a few championship teams during that run with Kobe and Shaq, as well as after Shaq left. And, they had the other stars, that joined the team. I can't remember. I really don't care. Here's my thing. People say that, LeBron and these superstar players have so much control and too much say-so, and they're running the coaches and all this other stuff. Now, as a former athlete, I have always been taught to respect my coaches. You follow the coaches, but you also follow the team captain. Now, it does seem like to me, as I do agree that LeBron has a lot of say-so, he has a lot of control. They said basically he's a player coach, which, okay, it obviously works when he does it. LeBron's the one bringing in all the money. These superstars on these teams are the ones bringing in all the money. At the end of the day, they're the face. It's just now that people are really getting into the front office of these teams and organizations because there's so much bullcrap going on. But I don't blame LeBron. I mean, he came to this team. It was a young team. They didn't really have, a even amount of talent, to even probably make the playoffs. I mean, come on now. So I don't know. And it's just funny that, what's his name, what's the daddy? I can't remember. LeVar Ball. Now he wants his son to be traded to Phoenix. Now I heard that last season, this past season, because the season's still going, it's the playoffs. But I heard that he wanted his son to now go to Phoenix because with LeBron with the Lakers, now his son isn't the star of the Lakers, which, he really wasn't going to be. And he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player at all. What the hell's his name? I can't even remember his name, but there's 3 Ball brothers. The one is already in the NBA. Do your thing, y'all, but these players need to have a little bit of say-so. They don't need to run the team, make the decisions and all this other stuff. That should be the front office, because if not, what are you there for? But these players get multi-million dollars. Their faces on the franchise. They're the first ones that people are going to come at, like, what's going on? So, but, Lakers fans are pissed. I hope y'all get a taste of what us Knicks fans have been dealing with for quite a while now. now. Nobody wants to come to New York and play. I think the Lakers are going to be like that. The Lakers may be a little bit more attractive because it's LA, and it's mainly just a celebrity, whatever. We'll see. We'll see how, what happens with the Lakers and what other off-season moves are going to happen. If the Lakers are going to get another big name, we'll see. Okay, so the 2019 Met Gala happened this past week. And, I'm not a fashion girl, but I like looking at fashion. I can't tell you labels and all this other stuff. I just can look at it and be like, oh, okay, that's cute, or that's ugly, that's hideous, whatever. But this year's theme, now there's a theme every year. This year's theme was camp. Now, for people who don't know what camp is pretty much just when you dress as something and it's just outrageous. It's so outrageous, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like Katy Perry, she was a chandelier. It was so outrageous, but you knew what it was. You know what I mean? Janelle Monáe, her outfit was weird and outrageous, but it was her and it was camp. You knew what it was. It was, whatever it was a tribute to. Ryan Murphy, he came dressed pretty much as paying homage to Liberace. Some crazy outfit that Liberace would have made, and Liberace was definitely camp because he was over the top and very extravagant and all these other things, but his outfits made sense for him. So that's what it basically was. And of course, Billy Porter shut it down, coming in. And he's one of the inventors of what camp pretty much is, and what because camp pretty much started in the Black and Latino underground gay scene. And it was pretty much what they did and, when they performed at their balls and everything like that. So that's pretty much where it came from. It came from the Black, gay, and drag queen scene. That's where it came from. And of course, they're not going to get the credit that's due to them. It's sad, but that's just the way it is. Our culture, the Black culture, LGBT culture has always been taken and put on the main stage when it was copied from us. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But okay, so I could go on and on about the outfits and what I liked and what I didn't like, but I just want to talk about Tiffany Haddish real quick. Now, Tiffany Haddish to me is the female equivalent of Kevin Hart. And let me explain. They're both not all that funny, especially in their stand-up, but they're good in movies, and I'm happy for their success. Now, Tiffany Haddish and I, we had the same exact birthday, December 3rd, 1979. So we're pretty much twins. You know what I'm saying? She just does too much. And it's like it's just like she's this caricature, and you don't have to be that all the time. So she's on the red carpet at the Met Gala handing out fried chicken. Now, come on now, Tiffany. That's just too much. And she's doing all that she ready and all that other stuff, and people are coming up to her saying that. Now, I know that's her catchphrase and that's her trademark, whatever. Girl, it's just way too much. And I don't know what. I haven't watched her TV show that she's on, the one with Tracy Morgan. I haven't watched that, so I don't know how she is on that. And I didn't see Night School. I'm gonna have to watch Night School, but I loved her in Girls Trip. I loved her in that. And I tried to root for her the same way I did for Kevin Hart, and I just can't. I just can't get into their comedy. It's almost coonish in a sense. I don't know. There's a difference between being black and being a coon. I'm just saying. So this weekend, girl, we get it. There's going to be a follow-up to Surviving R. Kelly. Lifetime is in the process of producing a sequel. Why? Why does this need to be done? Just let justice do its thing. Let this play out. There's nothing else that you can, because now it's just looking thirsty. Now it's just looking, you're taking away from what the series meant in the first place. Now, I know this is supposed to be the same people on there and maybe even more people, I don't know, but they're on there talking about everything that's happened since Surviving R. Kelly aired from earlier this year. I don't know. Of course I'm going to watch it, but I just think it's something that doesn't need to be done. So, okay, they're making a movie based on the college admissions scandal. They're making a movie on this. Now, I get it. Because it was a major headline. It involves all these rich white people. So there we go. But in the meantime, y'all are making movies based on what's going on with them. And it's almost like in a glorified sense. And while all that's going on, a black mother is still in jail for using her father's address so that her kids can go to a better school. But this is entertainment and big fun, So I just don't get it. It's just so many double standards. I'm not understanding why a movie needs to be done so soon. I'm pretty sure they would have done one because I want to know the tea. I want to know what's going on, what happened in the background, everything like that. Especially someone who had to work hard to get into a great college, had to work hard, to get into a great graduate school. So yeah, I want to get the tea. So I do definitely want to watch this movie, but it's just funny how they're making this turn real Hollywood already, while a mother who is just trying to get her son into a better environment, a school environment in a better district by using her own father's address, the boy's grandfather. And now while she's in jail, he's probably going to that school anyway if his grandfather has custody of him. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's just crazy. Such double standards. Salt and Pepper fired Spinderella via text. Now, I didn't know it was via text, but yeah, they fired her. Now, how are you going to fire your DJ? That's just like, God rest his soul, but Run DMC wouldn't have been Run DMC without Jam Master Jay. That's why they really don't do anything. For a while they had other DJs filling in, and you understand that because Jam Master Jay is gone. I think that this has been an ongoing thing for a long time. I really do think that. I think that they've been wanting to get rid of Spinderella. Spinderella is out here making money. She's out here making coin. She has her own radio show. She's, producing for other people. She's been doing her thing for a long time. And as I mentioned, and I was being serious too. I was being shady, but I was being serious too. But when I found out about it, I said something like, they were just mad because she had the best verse, the best flow, whatever you want to call it, and what a man. And she did. When her verse came on, everyone just went in. So it's just crazy. But she wrote some long post, and I read it, but I can't really, it was just basically like she said that she saw this coming. She's not surprised. And they're also on tour. So she got fired during the tour as well. So girl, you better sue for the rest of your tour money, something. But that's just crazy. That's just crazy. Salt and Pepper is so messed up anyway. You got Salt who doesn't want to do certain songs and wants to change the lyrics and all this other stuff. Girl, stop it. And speaking of Salt and Pepper, so they're on tour with SWV. I don't know who else, but I know for sure they're on tour with SWV because Coco from SWV was making a big deal because they're ending the show, the whole concert with them with the song Push It. And Coco feels that the SWV song should be the closing song. Why? Now, I love SWV. Don't get me wrong. I still listen to them. I love some SWV, but they don't really have a legendary classic song, maybe on the R&B charts, but Push It is a legendary classic song up there with one of the most karaoke songs. It's on all these hip hop compilations. Girl, Coco is a trip. This is why SWV has been having issues is because of her. It's ridiculous. Even Taj from SWV said that no, Push It needs to be the last song. That needs to be it. I don't know. Just Coco, just girl. So they're firing people, and then there's beef between who has the closing song, which there should be no beef. What song would SWV close with for this tour? I don't know, whatever. So can we talk about Ayesha Curry just briefly? So I'm pretty sure most of y'all know, but Ayesha Curry, her mother-in-law, her sister-in-law, and her brother-in-law's future wife were all on Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith, her mother, and Willow. They were on the Red Table Talk. And I caught a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. So I had to watch the whole thing. Pretty much what made everything else that was said was just almost forgotten, because now everyone is getting on Ayesha Curry because she said that pretty much that she wants people in her DMs. She wants to feel like she's being lusted after, I guess, or whatever, because her husband gets all these groupies and, he's getting people, all these women always coming after him, but she doesn't get that in return. I totally got what she was saying, but I also get where people are like, girl, I get both sides. And I don't really care for Ayesha Curry. I just always thought that she was, really just stuck up. And, she's always talking down to people and, all that other stuff. But I respect their marriage. I respect their union, all that stuff, of course. But let me just take her back real quick, because so many people have been going in, and I think I know where it comes from. I think so many men because that's mainly who it is who's been going in on her. But I think so many men have an issue with this because you're scared that your wife feels like this and that, or your girlfriend, and she may, want the same thing. She may be getting all this attention from you, all this love and everything like that, but it's still nice to feel desired. It's still nice to feel wanted. Some people need that. Not everybody, but some people need that. So it's understandable where she's coming from. I just think that the way that she worded it, the way that she presented it, I don't think that it was the best way, but I got what she was saying, and it took me everything to really defend her in a certain way. But I think it mainly has to do with men's insecurities. That's what it is. And that's why y'all are trying to turn it into a joke and still talking about it days later and probably didn't even watch the interview. But anyway, that's that. So just check your ego, your insecurities, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about what's going on in somebody else's marriage. Dear Steve Harvey, I mean, why? Now, anybody who really knows me knows I'm not a fan at all of Steve Harvey. I think he's full of shit. I think he's just, I don't know. I'm not going to say what I really think because it's not that type of show. I'm not a fan of his. I think he's full of it. I really, truly do. That's my personal opinion. That's how I feel. I think his unsolicited advice is getting old and tired, especially when you're not on point with everything in your life. So let's talk about his latest bullshit that he came out of his mouth in front of his pretty much predominantly white audience, which you could tell he was referring to black people when he said this, but he didn't say it. So anyway, he was saying that he knows, because he knows everything. He knows why broke people stay broke. And you want to know why? It's because they sleep too much. Rich people don't sleep a lot because they're out making moves 24/7 pretty much. Apparently that's what they're out here doing. Okay. So, and of course he quoted the Bible to make it legit, to make this right, to make it what it is, to make it gospel. And he told people on the West Coast that they need to wake up when people on the East Coast do, so you can get moving. He said, why are you sleeping? The stock market is open. Why are you sleeping at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning? Because I'm tired. I mean, good night. You know what I mean? He talked about how much time is being wasted throughout the day, just all this other stuff. And basically, I'm like, people aren't sleeping all day. You know what I mean? And if people take naps, they're entitled to them. Okay. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you take plenty of naps. And he was just talking about how much we're wasting time and all this other stuff when there's money out here to be made. So let me tell you what I think wasting time is. It's not the 3 to 5 hours of sleep that you're saying people get every day that they don't need, like these little naps and everything like that. But I think wasting time is listening to your radio show, your television shows, Family Feud, all this other stuff, your movies, your books that are bullshit. I think that's wasting time. That could be wasting time too, because while I'm listening to you and watching you and all this other stuff that involves Steve Harvey, I could be out making money. I could be out making moves. So you're not telling people not to stop watching your show and supporting you, but everything else that we're doing, we had to stop doing. If you don't get yourself on out of here, I can't stand him. I really can't. I just think that he's just such an arrogant piece of something. He gets on my nerves, and that's all I'm going to say about him before I say some stuff that I don't need to on here. But just know that Steve Harvey is out here still giving his unsolicited advice that no one is asking him for. You're going to turn into another Bill Cosby, sis. So you better get your stuff together. You know how it was when Bill Cosby started getting uppity and, all high and mighty. You know what happened to him. Hello. So I was finally successful with the keto diet. And I just call it keto. I don't call it a keto diet because I just say I'm doing keto. Because when you put the word diet into it, it just really messes with my brain, and I don't like that. And it just takes me to somewhere else where I'm just like, okay, this is too much. I can't. And I start thinking about it too hard, and I mess up on the diet. However, I digress. The first 2 weeks on keto, I have lost a total of 10 pounds. 10 pounds exactly. So starting tomorrow, which I'm recording this on a Saturday early evening, Sunday will be going on week 3 that I've been doing keto. It's really not hard. The hardest part for me was just really seriously cutting back. It wasn't necessarily sugar, like I'm craving sweets and all this other stuff. This was sugar that I put in my morning coffee. But what I've been doing, and I got this idea from a friend of mine who's also doing it, is I've been taking my Premier protein shakes, which I already did, but I don't do it all the time. I didn't do it all the time. But I've been making my iced coffee in the morning and putting the Premier Protein shake in there for my sweetener. So I'm getting protein and I'm getting coffee. I'm good. But that's really been getting me through the morning. And then I'm still doing the intermittent fasting to where I don't eat until 11 a.m. That's when I have my first meal of the day. Just drinking water from after I finish, well, even while I'm drinking coffee. So I'm pretty much drinking water from when I get up first thing in the morning because I had to take my medicine, well, some of my medicine. But it's really been working for me. I just think when I really just understood it and I started watching more YouTube videos of, people who've done it and things that like their grocery hauls and them going shopping, like certain things like that. And I was like, well, I pretty much eat like this anyway. I just had to get on a schedule. And the biggest thing is meal prep. That is the biggest thing for me. Once I started meal prepping, I was good because I stuck to that. And if I had something prepped and I got tired of it, I didn't stray far from it. Like I didn't, if I had like some baked chicken and some broccoli and cheese, rice or whatever, the rice broccoli. If I didn't want that for like maybe the second day in a row, I may have went out and got taco from Taco Bell and some refried beans from there, or maybe a cheeseburger from McDonald's and take off the bread because that's how I pretty much eat now. But I haven't had any fast food. The last fast food I've had was maybe 2.5 weeks ago when I got some chili from Wendy's. I was craving some chili from Wendy's. I don't know why. So I went out one night and got that. But that was the last time I had fast food. And there are options that you can have when it comes to fast food. So it's not just all about just sticking to this diet. You have to find your own way. And I think this is with every diet too, regardless if you're doing a weight program like Weight Watchers, something like that. You have to find your own way to do it, but you still have to stick to the plan. And I know that might sound a little contradictory, but I hope you get what I'm saying. You have to find your own way of doing it, but you can't stray far from it. That's pretty much what I'm saying. So, however, it's been working great for me. I'm really just embracing it. I'm going to stick with it I said I'd do it for at least 2 months to see how much weight I can lose. And I may just stick with it. Until I get my goal, my personal goal. We shall see, but it's looking good. It's looking good and I feel good. I feel better. I feel more like I'm getting back on track with something, because even though I still couldn't eat a lot, my weight was stalled so bad. I was just like, okay, is this it? I'm getting there, and I'll just keep y'all updated on how it's going. So that's our show for this week, and I want to thank you all once again for tuning in to Danny B Speaks, the podcast, episode 20. Don't forget to check out my website at DannieBSpeaks.com. Been posting on there a little bit more frequently than I had been. Been working on some other things, but the website is still going, and you can also listen to the podcast on DannieBSpeaks.com. I have it like in 3 different places. Also check out the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spotify, and Stitcher. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, if you'd like to be on the show once I start having people on there with me, once I get all that together, hit up my email at DannieBSpeaks@gmail.com. If you have anyone or anything that you'd like me to promote or endorse, please hit my email, DannieBSpeaks@gmail.com. And as always, I want to thank you for listening to the podcast. Have a safe and productive week. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Those that are still here, that are no longer with us. Wishing you all peace and blessings, and I'll see y'all on the next podcast. Peace.